Hello, we are here for one more lesson of this AxisVM training course, and the topic for today will be something called the postprocessor, specifically for the static analysis. I've opened one of the examples that I had in my computer to try to show you a couple of topics related with this postprocessor static. This topic will be split in several lessons because it has a lot of different topics, and I think it was important for you to check our theoretical course because there are a lot of different details that are important to talk about, and it is difficult to pass here all those details. Anyway, let's try to do our best about these topics. First, to show you something that we spoke already in the past, when we talk about static, we have this menu here. This menu has different options, different commands. This first one is to start a linear static analysis. The second one to start a non-linear static analysis. In this button here, we have something called the result display parameters. In this box, we have the load cases, the combinations, the envelopes or critical combinations. We can open this and we have a lot of things inside. In this dialog box here, we have the available result components. In here, display modes. In this small one, we have the display scaling factor. We have in here the minimum max search and animation, besides other things, other graphics, being this one, a display option, display of nonlinear diagrams, and in this particular one, the pushover diagram that we can see, and finally these relative displacements that we can see here. Let's try to see a couple of things, and we can start by the result display parameters that we open. This is a big dialog box. We have a lot of information here, but basically we can define what we want depending on what is being calculated. So in this particular case, we don't have all the combinations. So we have this linear or non-linear or dynamic analysis. We can have this splitted in case, envelopes, critical, being this first part the type of analysis. In here we can choose, and you see that things are changing. If it is the case, lets you display the results of any combination that we can choose here. Regarding envelopes, we can display the envelope of results from a combination that we can select also, so we can choose among these things here. And if we choose critical, this lets you generate the critical load combinations according to what is defined. And then we have parameters around here. So there are a lot of small things inside also. So we can choose among options. For example, in the critical, we can investigate combinations. We can do this automatically or do a custom, and then we can choose among these different methods of combinations. We can choose a lot of things. We can choose also in this area the components that we can check, display modes. We can choose also to see it undeformed or deformed, and we can use also these options to write values only to nodes, only or lines, surfaces, among those different possibilities. We can have also the possibility to display minimum, maximum values only. And we have a couple of more settings also that we can choose from, being this an option for the smoothing, that we can have this if none, the values of the internal forces are not averaged. If we choose the selective option, the values of these internal forces are averaged in a selective way. And if we set all, then the values of these internal force components are average without any more options. Then we have this definition for the angles. We can have also a setting for this intensity reference value. This can be used as a percentage of the reference value set. We have these also line support internal forces that we can average forces or not, for the surfaces also, and a couple of options also for these rebar spacing, that we can round values here or follow this layout for spacing. There are a lot of different options inside this. That is why I'd like you to invite for checking our theoretical course, because it is interesting in terms of all these small details. We have a couple of videos also where we deal a little about or around these topics, showing real cases, so I think it is also a complement for these topics mentioned in this lesson. Then we have a button called the minimum maximum values. But before, let me show you, because I think we did not check everything. So we can set different things here, see the components, see under this kind of things. We can increase scale for these things. We have the colors also to display these things. We have a lot of things here, so let us say only nodes. It will bring this a little more clear. So many options, many possibilities. It's up to you. You can explore a little about this. Then these minimum and maximum values lets the user search for these extreme values, minimum and maximum, regarding the current result component, in this particular case, this one that is shown here. So if we click, we can check what it is. It will show you where they are and the corresponding values. As you can see, it is shown. Another interesting option is this called the animation. The animation lets you create, we can do a little setup about the frames and the creation of a video, whatever it is. So we can basically create an animation for what is happening in terms of the components and the loads, that locates or combinations that are being analyzed. Okay, it is a nice feature also to check. There are a couple of options also to create the videos, the format, and so on. Again, please check our theoretical course, because there are important informations about how to deal with this. Then we have a function called diagram display. It has a couple of options around here to configure. It depends for sure of what we are calculating. And this dialog box displays the results of linear, nonlinear, or dynamic as diagrams. We can mix these informations. So we have something done, which I don't know what it is, but we can check everything. We have a couple of options, and then we can mix for these components, the X and the Y. We can choose different things, and we can join a second diagram to mix this. I don't know what I'm doing. I will try to create something which I'm doing not very good. Okay. Let me try to choose displacement around here, something. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I will use also displacement for a node. For example, this one. And I will use also node, let us see, this one here. Okay, I'm repeating, but I will try to use a different one around here. Okay, and I have something done. Can be, then we have a couple of parameters around here to configure and set the graphics. I think there is also a nice feature I can show you better with other options. In one of the videos we have done for dynamic analysis, where we have this diagram explained or at least shown regarding some results. And it is interesting the different possibilities we can get from these graphics. Among this upper area, we have a couple of options. First, regarding a table of what we are choosing. So we have information around here, and then we have the definition of ranges for the different axes which we can configure and set. And basically we can work around this. We have also the intervals to be defined if necessary. So okay, we can work around these things. Okay, and define also from a window if necessary. Okay, around somewhere, which I cannot check, but okay, there is already a good idea of what it is possible to do with these parameters. Then we have similar or with the same concept graphic for pushover. This particular example does not it was not done having a pushover analysis done. There are a couple. The principle it is the same to show in graphic the results. Again, there is one very nice video that we have done already showing about this, and there are important configurations that you can see in our theoretical course. So I think it would be very important for you to check these additional informations. Still around these topics, it is important to mention also the table browser once more, because this table browser lets you display the numerical values of the results in the table in a way that we can customize the form. So basically, after calling this table browser, you can see if you need a detailed table of which components, and we can choose to see only what we have. Okay, so we can set around these things, and we have a table showing what was selected in terms of configuration. Okay, this is very interesting, and this table browser has a lot of possibilities, because then we can also have this sorting, ascending or descending or whatever. We can choose among all these things around here to display informations. So there are endless options to work with this table browser. So we have everything around here, so we can do a lot of things. So again, there are already some videos showing examples and showing some things about and working with this table browser, which I would like you very much to invite all of you to see, because it is one very source and very good source of information, in my opinion. This first lesson about the static post-processor, it is done. I hope that these topics are at least clear enough to invite you to test these functions if it is the case. And I truly hope that these highlights that we've done in this video are good to help you add a couple more tools to the set of tools and set of commands that we spoke already in this video. Any help, any clarification that you may need additionally, let us know, and we will give you all the necessary support.